Former U.S. Air Force photographer said he was involved in a UFO cover-up. He says, "You weren't there, but I was." Former Air Force photographer Robert Jacobs said he was involved in an unidentified flying object cover-up. That's when he was leading a team to film rocket launches in high resolution. And their goal of the high resolution filming was to understand why a lot of rockets exploded on the launch site in those days. While speaking with retired Air Force Captain Robert Salas of Paradigm Research Group on alien interference in nuclear testing, Jacobs described what he was able to capture September 14, 1964. According to the photographer, it was his job to use an ultra-high resolution camera. He was to record an American missile capable of carrying nuclear weapons as it flew over California at a speed of 8,000 miles per hour, which is pretty fast, obviously. To make sure it went unnoticed by the Soviet defenses, the missile was equipped with an anti-radar system. But the next day, Jacobs admitted he was summoned to his office by Major Florence J. Mansman because of the notes he made. At first, not understanding why he was being interrogated after watching the video, the photographer soon realized the problem. The footage actually showed a UFO in the shape of a saucer shooting rays at a U.S. rocket. Isn't that amazing? Jacobs added that the boss was adamant, saying that what he saw should never be talked about, and that as far as the photographer himself, he should forget about what happened. The meeting was also attended by 2 CIA officers, he said. Major Mansman abruptly responded, "You are never to say that again. As far as you're concerned, that never happened," and was subsequently escorted Dr. Jacobs to the door. He recalled him saying, "I don't need to remind you of the seriousness of the security breach." I said, "No, sir." But as I left, he leaned over to speak in my ear as if to say something the guys in the suits could not hear. He said, "Lieutenant, if you were ever tortured in the future, somebody has you up against the wall and they're frying your privates with fire, you can tell them this, it was laser tracking." But we never had laser tracking in 1964. The man received threats and ominous phone calls. However, he believed that the footage is the most important event in the history of mankind and therefore does not regret revealing the secret. Retired U.S. Air Force Lieutenant Dr. Robert Jacobs. Now, in a new interview with CNN, Jacobs described the footage as 2 oblong objects stacked with a golf ball on top, and according to him, the UFO fired a beam, believed to be plasma beam, at a dummy warhead and knocked it out of space. Tell me, in 1964, who this tech buddy is, not us, not the Russians, and no one I know, he said. We never had laser tracking back in 1964. The journalist suggested that the photographer was still lying about the incident, but Jacobs shut down these claims. He says, "I was there. I saw the film with my own eyes. Why would I lie?" he said. "I'm a university professor with a PhD and lots of years of good research, respected research. So don't call me a liar. You weren't there. I was," he said. And he concluded, "We are not alone." And this is on Solask. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.